Her 9000's game room.
Okay, so it was my intention to basically make a video at some point reviewing the Ultimate Edition of Mortal Kombat 11, developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. Now, I feel it's important to note that if you look on my channel, you'll find reviews of earlier Mortal Kombat games in the franchise, because I do a lot of retro reviews. I'm a big fan of Mortal Kombat. The one before this, Mortal Kombat X, I had dev release, and then they brought out the XL version, which I also brought. This time around, I decided I'd play it safe, and I'd just hold off, because I knew there'd be an Ultimate version. And yeah, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 11. I decided I'd get it for the Xbox X series, because something I thought I'd definitely like for my new console. This is where it became an absolute cluster bomb mess. It arrived in the mail and I opened it up. There's two discs in there, game disc and data disc. It tells you to insert the game disc first and the data disc second. So I set the game to install. I tell it to install on the main hard drive, the internal one on the Xbox X, because knowing it's an Xbox X game, it should only run from there. It takes really the better part of a day to download, because it takes stuff off the disc, but then it's also doing updates online. Very much that's normal, that's modern. The first disc finishes, so I put the second disc in, and all it says is to put the first disc back in, which I do, and doesn't say anything. Everything's installed, note to do. So I try putting the second disc in a couple more times. It never takes a thing off it. I'm presuming at this point that maybe the second disc is only if you've got an Xbox One, not an Xbox S or X. I load it up. All I have access to is Mortal Kombat 11. All of the characters are greyed out, you know, the Combat Pack 1 and 2 ones. So I scratch my head, get frustrated, worried that I've bought a piece of rubbish. I look inside the box if there's any instructions. No, there's a code, which is for some kind of futuristic pack for different characters. For the hell of it, I try this code. My Xbox says the code doesn't exist. I tried that code a total of 5 times in the day I got it. It never worked. So, I think, what am I going to do? Well, I uninstall everything, all the characters, just leaving behind the bare bones Mortal Kombat 11 game. And then I unplug my external hard drive, just in case. Don't want it in the way, don't want anything accidentally going over to that. You know, I've spent a lot of time in this at the point, and I'm getting annoyed. Everything updates, goes on, still doesn't work. It's now 2 o'clock in the morning of the day I've brought this. Well, the day it's arrived anyway. And it crashes my Xbox. The Xbox goes black, so I end up pulling the plug on it after a long wait. When it loads up, it's not working right, so I end up pulling the plug again. I have to keep powering my Xbox off and on until it finally decides to work, which I can only really blame Mortal Kombat for, because when I played Watch Dogs, Gears Tactics, installed all that, that's all worked. Anyway, finally it installs everything again, and then it starts downloading update versions for characters. I let it do all of these, and finally it's working. I go to bed at 3 o'clock. Wake up in the morning, go on it. 4 characters aren't working again. So I'm pretty much on the point of wanting to smash the disc in half. Turn it off and on a few times, and then it installs further updates to these characters. At which point I decided to try the code again out of the box for the future character skins, and that finally works. Now, I received this game on its day of release, which was the 17th, but I couldn't actually get everything properly working until the early hours of the morning on the 18th, or if you want to count the code and everything, about 12 o'clock in the day on the 18th. Now, I think it's an absolute disgrace on, and I'm not going to blame the developer for this, I don't think, but the publisher, because if I was publishing this, I'd make sure that everything worked out of the box. I would make sure that all the codes would work, because what if I'd given up? I just think it's an awful mess, and I will review Ultimate Mortal Kombat at some stage. But if you're having problems getting this to download, I hope you're not now, because I hope it's all to do with them not having got things in place for release. Hopefully now, if you put it all in, it'll work. But things I would advise is unplug your external hard drive and just sit it out and let everything install and update and dance around all at once. And while you're doing that, play something on your hard drive, or, you know, do something else, play on your Switch. This is basically just another frustrated video like the one I did for Monopoly, complaining about companies just not getting this shit together. Okay, this is Kerr9000 signing off, saying keep on gaming.